North Korean ghost ship found on Japanese coast. 8 bodies found inside a ship on a Japanese beach this week may have been defectors fleeing North Korea. The vessel was discovered in the Sea of Japan close to Oga on the Japanese coast. The Japanese Coast Guard believes it may have come from North Korea. A 68-year-old local resident alerted Japanese authorities to the ship on Monday morning. She reportedly saw it drifting some 300 meters from shore. The Coast Guard found 8 bodies inside the ship, as well as a cigarette packet bearing hangul writing, which is the Korean alphabet. This, Japanese media reports, makes police suspect the vessel is North Korean in origin. The Japan Times reports parts of the bodies were skeletonized, suggesting that the ship was at sea for an extensive amount of time before being found. According to NHK, no fishing equipment was found on board. According to the Washington Post, around 1,000 people successfully flee the North annually. Little Rocket Man's Hermit Kingdom. North Korean defector's stomach full of nasty parasites. The contents of a recent North Korean defector's stomach paint a hopeless picture of what life is really like inside the Hermit Kingdom. The North Korean border guard was shot several times while fleeing across the demilitarized zone to South Korea last week. Medical staff treating the defector say they found numerous parasites inside his body. Several of these were removed from his digestive tract, including one 27-centimeter long roundworm. They were likely caused by farming practices in the north where human excrement is used for fertilizer due to a lack of chemical fertilizer. Known as night soil, this practice is notorious for spreading parasites and disease. And that god-awful practice was championed by this guy. And he's full of it. Very full. Deadly poison may have killed Kim Jonguns' big brother. Do you remember how the third in line to the North Korean throne was taken out by 2 women earlier this year? No? Well, here's a recap. Kim Jong-nam, the older half-brother of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, was allegedly assassinated by 2 women at Kuala Lumpur airport earlier this year. Traces of the deadly nerve agent VX was found in the women's clothing, according to evidence presented during their trial last week in Malaysia. That chemical is classed as a WMD and is banned internationally. Ingested via the skin, VX blocks signals between the nervous system and the body's muscles. This results in paralysis of all muscles, including the diaphragm, and eventually death via asphyxiation. The women have said in their defense that they thought the whole thing was part of a hidden camera prank show.
North Korea's military might. With tensions ramping up on the Korean peninsula, perhaps it's time to assess just exactly what kind of heat Kim Jong-un is packing. According to The Telegraph, North Korea is believed to have more than 1,000 missiles of varying ranges. North Korea's short and long-range missiles can strike South Korea and Japan. Washington says Pyongyang is also developing a missile that will be capable of reaching the continental United States. North Korea is estimated to have enough plutonium to build as many as 6 nuclear bombs. Experts say it will take North Korea up to 10 years to fit a nuclear warhead to a missile capable of reaching the US. North Korea is believed to be able to make most kinds of chemical weapons. South Korea says the DPRK also has biological weapons, but it is unclear if they are ready for the battlefield. Military service is mandatory in North Korea for men and women, and the army has more than 1 million troops. The army relies on outdated Soviet tanks. The Navy has more than 70 submarines and 3 frigates. Most North Korean Air Force planes are outdated Chinese fighter jets, although it does have a small number of more modern Russian-built jets. The cyber warfare threat from North Korea is centered around an organization called Bureau 121, which boasts up to 6,000 hackers. Most of its attacks are targeted at South Korea. So that's the kind of hardware Kim Jong-un has at his fingertips. Let's just hope he brings an end to all this military madness before people get hurt.
Kaboom number 7. Little Rocket Man might be readying for yet another nuclear boom boom while his arch-rival Tangerine Man is saying yo what's up in Asia. South Korean intelligence told the country's lawmakers last Thursday that North Korea is making preparations for another missile test. Seoul points to increased vehicular movement around a missile research base in Pyongyang as evidence of this. North Korea last carried out a test in September of this year at its underground facility in Pyeongi-ri. That reportedly resulted in an earthquake and several aftershocks. Last week, Japanese media outlet TV Asahi reported this created a tunnel collapse and the deaths of 200 people. However, Pyongyang called this report fake news. And that's coming from the same guys who reportedly say this guy could drive a stick when he was a toddler.